Hey everyone, welcome back. Camille here from 88 Fitness Training. All right, today's the next segment in our huge workout series, leg day. So stay tuned. I'm going to take you through 5 exercises for a complete leg workout, and then I'll pair it all together exactly how I would do it. All right, so the first machine I'm going to take you through is the leg extension. First things first, you want to make sure it's set up properly. So a good way to know if it's set up properly is to sit in it and see if your knee lines up with this cam. If it does, you're good to go. If you're too far this way, you need to push the seat forward, and vice versa. If your knee's farther forward than that cam, push your seat back. Next thing's the foot pad. You want to make sure it's right over this top area right here. You don't want it up here. You don't want it on your toes. So now that that's all set and good, set your weight. And then you want to come up, and you really want to be able to fully lock out so you're engaging those quads, and you want to keep the toes flexed towards you, but not pointed like that. So pull the toes in, contract those quads, full contraction, and then down. Get that nice full stretch and up. So you really want to take your time on the lowering part, and again, you want to keep those toes pulled back or flexed, not pointed, just like this. The next machine is the leg curl machine. Same principles are going to apply here. You're going to want to sit in here. You want to make sure your knee lines up with that cam. If the back part is too far back, it's not going to. And then same thing, kind of similar to the leg extension. We want to make sure the Achilles is right over that pad. So lower this lat pad and then pull down, squeeze, come up, squeeze. It's really important you pull back as hard as you can here and squeeze it momentarily before releasing, just like that. The next thing is going to be a leg press. It's a staple at most gyms, so check it out. Now there is adjustability here, so you can bring this back part up like that or down. It's really going to depend on how tall you are, your geometry, so make sure you get in there and do what's comfortable for you. So you're going to get in here. Now for this leg workout, I'm going to have feet in the middle of the pad. That's going to actively work quads, hamstrings, the full gambit. You want to push up, remove the safeties, and then come down. Range of motion is important, but one of the things that you don't want is you don't want the glutes to lift off the pad. So the moment your glutes are lifting off that pad, it means your spine's curling up and you've gone too deep. So that's a good indicator of what the range should be. Go as far as you can without curling those hips up and then push up. So right about here. And for safety purposes, I actually move the bump stop up a little bit. So in case I fail, it's just stuck right here. My spine's not going to curl. I'm good to go. So just like that. The next exercise is going to be a good old barbell squat. If you see a lot of our other videos, there's nothing that beats the barbell squat when you're trying to build mass in the legs. It is absolutely the best, and it's actually the best for glute development. A lot of people don't, think about that, but because of the range of motion and how much you're stretching those muscles out, it's absolutely the #1 best exercise for growing that dump truck. So first things first, you want to set it up properly. So make sure these arms are low enough that you can unrack it safely. And catch the bar. So I should just be able to stand up and step out. Same thing when you go to rack it, you want to make sure you can just lean forward and hook it in. You don't want to have to be doing some tippy toe raise or something like that. All right, so now feet hip width, got the bar in the back. We're going to squat down and up, down and up. We want to make sure we get good range of motion here. You want to go as deep as you can, just like that. At least close to 90 or slightly lower is a good depth if you're trying to build up those legs. Now in terms of bar height, you can go up a little higher. It's going to be a little more quad emphasis. If you have the bar a little lower on your back, it's going to be more hamstring activation there. So just something to consider. And the last exercise I'm going to show you is a standing calf raise. We've covered this in several videos, but you always want to train calves in the stretched position. So I have this little platform here. I'm gonna put my toes up on it so my calves are fully stretched, and then come up, squeeze, lower back down, come up, squeeze. Now if you're really trying to build mass in those calves, you're gonna wanna do these weighted. So you're gonna wanna go to a gym that's got some calf raise equipment. There's seated calf raise machines, standing calf raise machines. Worst come to worst, if you really don't have that, you can add some dumbbells. I would just toss them up on your shoulders like that. That way you're weighted and you can progressively overload. And with calves, you wanna probably hit higher volume than normal. You're using your calves all day long when you're standing, so they're used to a lot of torment and torture already, so you really have to add a little extra volume on these. All right, now that you've seen all 5 individual workouts, let's piece it all together into a full workout exactly how I would do it. I've already warmed up, and my warm-up actually consisted of doing 10 reps on leg extension, leg curl, and light leg press. So I went through that a couple times. Again, it's really important to warm up with the exercises that you're actually going to perform during your workout. So that's why I chose to do those 3 in particular. So now that I'm nice and warmed up, it's time to go. So one of the things about leg press, if I were to do that just by itself, I'm going to have to load up 8-9 plates on this thing, just because that's how much it takes to truly fatigue my quad muscles, my hamstrings, and the leg. So one way that I'm gonna combat that is to pre-exhaust. So in this case, I'm working on quads today, quad focus. So I'm gonna pre-exhaust with this leg extension here. So I have it set to 110 pounds. I'm gonna try to hit between that 6 to 12 rep range. Again, that's the good muscle building rep range. And then I'm gonna immediately superset it with my leg press. Same concept, I'm gonna go for 6 to 12 reps. So all right, I'm gonna hop in here, let's go. I'm really trying to hit that max contraction. It's hard because this weight's really heavy. But as soon as I get stuck, which is soon, I'm gonna head right over to the leg press. All right, hop in here. You're not going to want to lock out your knees on this. Keep them loose, just for safety. And you can see, like, just pre-exhausting makes this a lot more challenging. And I really don't have that much weight on it. So that's the beauty of using the pre-exhaust technique. And that's it. So after your leg extension, leg press superset, you're going to want to give yourself adequate time to rest and recover, catch your breath. And then we're going to head right over to the barbell squat. Now with this one, I'm still working up in how much weight I can do with decent form. So I don't really have a reason to pre-exhaust here. Just doing a straight set of 6 to 12 reps here is enough for me. But if you're really efficient at doing squats, then I definitely recommend pre-exhausting so you can keep the weight a little lighter. Another reason you would want to do that is just the fact that you may or may not have a spotter. And if you are loading up this barbell, you dang well better ensure you have a spotter, or these safety measures are here to catch you. I just heard a horrific story the other day about someone that got mangled up by failing at their squat. So in any case, here we go. I got the weight loaded. I'm going to go for my 6 to 12 reps. Just like that. Make sure you're hitting the appropriate depth each time. You can really feel everything firing in your mind. When you start to slow down and get stuck, tell yourself, speed up. Even though you're not physically moving any faster, your body's trying to tell those muscle fibers to fire faster, believe me. And then right about there is good. Again, if without a spotter, I really don't take it to true failure. Every once in a while it'll catch me and I'll rush the bar down on these spotter arms. But again, 6 to 12 reps, just make sure it's heavy. After the squat, I'm gonna move into heavy, heavy leg curls. All right, so I'm gonna get in here. A lot of times I like doing this with a partner because we can do some forced reps at the end, but my goal is only to hit a couple of really heavy sets in that 6 to 12 rep range. I'm gonna make sure this pad's nice and tight, and let's go. I got 110 pounds on this, and it is heavy. Now, since I don't have a partner here, once I reach that failure point, I'm gonna try to do some negative reps. So I'm gonna force it back, and I'm gonna try to release this one as slow as possible. It hurts. Whew. All right. So again, that was one set. I would do a couple sets of this. All right, now that all of our heavy compounds and excellent isolations are out of the way, we're gonna finish it up with one last isolation move, this time for the calves. So again, just like I explained earlier, you wanna have your toes raised so you can really stretch those calves. Come up, squeeze. I'm gonna hit about 20 reps here. And just like all the other muscle groups, you know, if you're trying to build up size, you're gonna wanna progressively overload. So at some point, just doing body weight is not gonna be enough. You're gonna wanna have to add weight here in some way, shape, or form. So again, I recommend using a calf raise machine and not how I'm doing them here, but this is all I have. So again, hit those reps, really squeeze them. You're gonna feel this. I saved it to the end just because you don't wanna exhaust your calves and then not be able to hit all of your other heavy compound lifts. So, all right, well, there you have it. I just took you through 5 excellent exercises and exactly how I would pair them. One thing you're probably wondering, if this is the huge leg workout, where were my deadlifts? So one of the things that I recommend when you're trying to build mass, you really can't focus on every single heavy compound at the same time. It's just too much stimulus. So I recommend alternating some of the heavy compounds week to week. So this week I focus on doing heavy barbell squats, which means next week I'm gonna focus on doing heavy barbell deadlifts. And then I just keep alternating the weeks like that. Again, I think that's a really great technique for trying to build that mass. That way you can really give the lift the attention that it deserves. Now, if you have other muscle imbalances or deficiencies, once you finish these 5 exercises, I would add in a couple isolation exercises. So if it's something, you know, you're trying to build glutes, go ahead and hit some hyperextensions. If you're trying to build quad sweep, go ahead and do that version of the leg extension that accentuates quad sweep, for instance. But I really wouldn't pepper those in earlier into the workout because we're still trying to build that overall mass. So our focus really needs to be on those 5 lifts I showed you. So all right, y'all, I hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely check out the other huge workout videos in this series, as well as our leg day playlist. And as always, hit that like and subscribe. Camille, 88 Fitness Training.